The commandment is, and we all know it, it's from Leviticus. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And active hate and indifference are both ways of breaking that commandment. What I'm seeing this year, especially on a level that I've never seen before, is so many of you who are Christians by your confession, your profession, do not love your neighbor one little tiny bit at all. You love your politics. You love your party. You love your favorite politicians. But if you loved your neighbor, you would not be spreading wild, crazy conspiracy theories. Why should we have to prove to you that the consensus of science is true? Why should we have to prove to you that you should believe the reports when they occur in Reuters and on ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox News, the New York Times, the New York Post, the Washington Times, the Washington Post, USA Today, the Baltimore Sun? If there are all of the major, the Boston Globe, everybody who is in the serious world of journalism is reporting that we have an actual pandemic going on. And that at this point, on September the 10th, we're looking soon at 200,000 Americans dead from this. You're saying, oh, they're all lying. None of that's true. This guy here on the internet who says he's a doctor of what I don't know, he's the one telling us the truth. He's the one we ought to believe. And this guy over here with his foil hat. If you love your neighbors yourself, you will put aside your emotional attachment to whatever loyalties you have in your carnality in the flesh here. You'll put aside all of that, your emotional attachment, and you'll stop to consider those of us who look at the news, the real, actual, credible news, the Reuters, AP, the list. We're not the ones who have to prove something, who should have to prove anything to you. When we read in the news that because of the Sturgis motorcycle rally and through the science, I say the science, SCIENCE, science of contact tracing, it appears that as of yesterday, which was September 9th, I don't know what the number is today, I know it's obviously gone up. They've, through contact tracing, already confirmed that motorcycle rally has caused a mega spread of 250,000 people being infected. What, I got to prove to you that all the newspapers are telling the truth? No, you prove to me that your crazy little friends with their tinfoil hats and these crazy online reports you're spreading from things I've never even heard of before, like the patriotic news or whatever you call it. You prove to us that that's the truth. You prove to us that the consensus of science is wrong. You prove to us that Bill Gates and George Soros and the Red Chinese, working along, no doubt, with Blofeld they're creating a vaccine so they can put little tiny computer chips in our bodies so that the Red Chinese can control every one of us by remote control. You prove to me that that's true. Meanwhile, why don't you start observing some precautions? Why don't you slow down on spreading conspiracy theories and other stuff that nobody can confirm? Why don't you slow down on treating people who have no credentials as if they're the experts, why don't you take some time to think and search and review the reality of what's happening? Simply because if you love your neighbors yourself, you don't want to make people sick. You don't want to get people killed. But if you're real attached through emotional loyalty to some crazy political agenda, so you're going to believe that all this news is fake, they're all lying. And this guy over here, from the patriotic loyal American website.com, who says that they're all full of stuff, and here we got a real doctor to say so. A real doctor. He's a doctor. Yes, he says so. When he was born, his mom and dad named him Doctor. So he's a doctor, and he says that this isn't really happening. Well, I'm sorry. If I'm sounding sarcastic, it's because you're getting your irresponsibility, my dear Christians who believe and pass on conspiracy theories. Your irresponsibility, which is a lack of love for your neighbor, is dangerous. It's not a matter of mere opinion. If all of the scientific consensus is right, and you're a lunatic fringe with their foil hats are wrong, which probably is the case, and you're prolonging this thing, you're making it last longer than it needs to. You're getting people sick. You're getting people killed. You're participating in being on the side of the virus. The virus is our enemy. Not a political party. The virus is the bad guy. And you're on the side of the virus if you're helping it spread. No, I'm not going to be nice about it. Jesus was not nice when he called Pharisees a brood of vipers. And I'm not going to be nice when I say your behavior is reckless and stupid. I'm sorry, that word might offend you. Good. Your behavior is stupid. It's reckless and it's dangerous. Stop it. Learn what real science is saying and stop refusing to believe the news media. They're not fake news. Hitler said it in German, Lügenpresse. Because if a political leader can get you to just automatically not listen to the news, he can get away with murder. He can get away with anything. Because, you see that, what we call the fourth estate, even when they're keeping an eye on what's going on, you're not going to listen to it. I can't do anything about unbelievers spreading conspiracy theories, COVID-19, conspiracy theories that are coming from QAnon and other satanic sources. Can't stop that from happening. I'm telling you, the commandment is thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. If nothing else, slow down. Don't hit that share button until you've really thought about it, until you've really learned. Let me give you an example. Recently, the news proved that most of the people who've died with COVID-19 had other conditions. And people took this to mean, they didn't really die from COVID-19. So we've been lied to. They've all been lying to us. No, that's not what it means. Because the same thing's true every year with the flu, that people die if their health is already compromised. And that, by the way, means 40% of adult Americans have their health compromised. Therefore, the spread of this disease causes people to die who otherwise might live for years and decades longer. Nobody's been pulling your leg. You just don't understand the science. See, I got asthma. I'm 62. I got asthma. Does that mean if I get this disease and my asthma's weakened me and I die from it, that you're going to say, he didn't really die of COVID-19. He died of asthma. Except I might have a couple more decades in me. if I don't get it. Wake up. Look, you went to school, I hope. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Don't you hit that share button and get rid of some of that garbage you posted. It isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. And if you pass it on, you don't love your neighbor. And if you don't love your neighbor, you don't love God. And I'm not going to mince words about it. Jesus is not mincing words about it. Read the Gospels. I'm talking to you like him.